I see that people are talking about former now Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard in the thread. I know that the piece of legislation that she introduced was the Stop Arming Terrorists Act, and her efforts to bring this to the public debate got her smeared and labeled as both an Assad apologist and as a Russian asset while she was serving in the U.S. military as a major in the National Guard. It's Can you talk about the dangers? You know them very well, to bringing these things up, and what can be done to smear anti-war voices that
Right.
bring these things
So,
up.
no, that's an excellent point because, I will say I used to spend a lot of my time covering the issue of Israel-Palestine. I worked for the Electronic Intifada. And so I had experience dealing with the Israel lobby, right? With anybody who wants to shut you down and smear you because you're challenging Israeli crimes against Palestinians. And I thought I'd seen the worst of it, but I've never experienced more smears and character assassination and reputation destruction and libel the way I did when I started speaking out on Syria. It just completely just like threats like I'd never received before, but also just like threatening to my livelihood. Like there are academics in senior tenured positions who went around basically trying to make sure that I could never speak at their universities, to make sure that I got, I didn't get jobs. To make sure that nobody, that like they say so much about you that it gets to the point where people don't want to associate with you, kind of situation. I'd never experienced that before the issue of Syria. And I mean, I think it just demonstrates like what a threat it was to speak so openly about it. But that's just me. Like I'm just some like left-wing, independent journalist. Not to minimize that, but like I'm not a congressperson. So like, that really shows you the level of coordinated propaganda and character assassination that there was around the issue of Syria, that you had a congresswoman, a sitting member of Congress, be smeared as a Russian asset by people in her own party. I mean, like I think the issue of Syria actually ruined, speaking out on it, ruined Tulsi Gabbard's chance to move up in the Democratic Party and to continue a political career, at least right now. I mean, she's not going to have another term as a congressperson. She was very popular before she started speaking out against Syria. So I raise this because I think it's important, to ask, whenever you see people being attacked like this on an issue, it's time to look more deeply into that issue and understand why, because it's very revealing once you start to see why.